Good evening. I'd like to call this Town of Plainfield Special Water Pollution Control Authority meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. June 1st. Roll call. Kevin Cunningham. Scott said he could not be here tonight. Item C, to approve the minutes of the special WPCA meeting dated May 22nd, 2022.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from May 22nd, 2022.
And I will second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. New business. There are three items on the discussion items for tonight. The first one is consider an act on the Fuss and O'Neill proposal. In a previous packet and then additional packets, there is information excuse me, about the monies that we allocated toward from ARPA funds going over towards the WPCA and the sewer upgrades. And you'll see in there, there's a note, I shouldn't say a note, but a packet put forth by Fuss and O'Neill, April 11, 2022, talking about the different projects that we wanted to work on. And the summary of this packet is the idea that they want to do the engineering, put it out there for three different projects: the dog track water pump, the station replacement, the north wastewater treatment plant generator replacement, and then the wastewater pump stations and treatment plant emission control monitoring systems. So it gives you a little more of a detail in each one of them, how that they were looking to do some more surveys, some wetland delineations, some subsurface investigations and permitting, and then that way they'd bring you to the preliminary design and go forward on each of those. And then again, you'll go out to bid after that process. So that's the overview of it. We do have here with us tonight the plant management, and this is Stephanie Baldino, and she can answer questions if you have particular ones. Not really?
I think I emailed you all my questions the first time this came by.
Yep, and then I have Fuss and O'Neill on standby too. If there's any additional questions I can answer, I'm on standby so I can answer any more.
Yep.
The only thing that saddens me is that the price is going up.
Yeah.
Since it first came by.
All right. Well, in that case, if we run through the whole project and you have an idea of how you want to go with that, we'd entertain a motion. We're going to make sure in the motion that you put in the dollar amount for the proposal. I think that's in there. Yep. Yes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Fuss and O'Neill proposal for $172,000.
I will second that motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item 2 is we will have to make a motion to table that item only because we were waiting for the fixed costs for the second collection tank to come in. They haven't come in. You asked last week and they said they would try to get it to us, and we kept waiting and waiting. So hopefully we'll have it at the end of the week and we can schedule a regular meeting at the end of the month to get this item on there. So we have to entertain a motion to table until the next meeting.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item 3 is the actual Water Pollution Control Authority 2022-23 budget amount, and we also need to, in that motion, set the sewer rate. So if you have the packet in front of you, bear with me. I will say that with all the rising costs and everything that are going on, I think you did a great job of putting this together because there are a lot of costs that are going up on a regular basis. So to be able to still keep within a decent budget and not have to increase the sewer use rate, I think is really admirable on the part of all involved in putting that together. long did it take? A few, yeah, a few weeks. So do you have questions on any of the items?
I do, because when I was given, they just don't add up.
Okay.
On the utilities. Should that be an increase of 16,000? Not a decrease of 22? Or do I have it all? An increase of 16, right? Okay. The next one after that is vehicles. That should be an increase of 35,500. I've already done the math and it does check out. And then the one after that, the debt. That should be an increase of, a decrease of 10,214, not 6,400. And the total came to 20,867.98. Pretty much matching up with revenue now. It's 69 rounded up to.
Mhm. So we need to make the corrections on the final sheet to reflect those three.
It's still stepping. An increase of 20,000 is really good. That's
Yeah.
all.
We try to keep it the same.
So if you wouldn't mind just going over those changes again, those are the additional $16,000 under utilities for a grand total of, still at 217. It was just the math in the right column that was incorrect. Is that true?
Oh, do I have time to get to that? I don't know if I have time to get to that.
So if it was...
Yeah. Did you check that?
Yep, that's all it is a 16,000. Yep. Bottom one?
I just assumed it was the ones in the differential column.
Yep. And then the very last one for an addition for all the vehicle expenses and gasoline, diesel repairs. His was 29.5 last year's, now it's 65,000.
Yep,
So that's a
that's
grand increase of 35,500. Final page. Anything there?
Yeah.
The 10,214. Yep.
Instead of 6,
It's a reduction.
4.3,
Yep.
it's a reduction of 10,
214.
14.
Which would put your grand total back at still only 20,869
867 point.
for the, yeah. Okay. So we can make the motion with those modified changes.
I'll make a motion to approve the WPCA budget for 2022, 2023. We need the amount.
Yep.
The amount $2,475,388 with the changes to utilities, vehicles, and debt.
And to set sewer rate at,
To set the sewer rate at $4.12 per use.
okay. Those reflective changes, I would second that motion. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We will go through a dated list tomorrow and be published. All right. And with that, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor say aye. Aye at 6:39. Time is now 6:45. I'm going to call this Town of Plainfield Special Pension Board meeting to order June 1st at 6:45. Roll call.
Art Gagnon.
And Kevin Cunningham. We do not have Scott, and I did not hear from Christie, so. Item C is to approve the minutes of the pension meeting dated May 9th, 2022.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes for May 9th, 2022.
Thank you. All righty, and Dean seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Under new business, there are two what would be considered former employees of the town looking to get a pension payout. We have Sharon Brouillard, who was a Board of Ed para-educator who served for almost 34 years. And so she's looking for a pension payout starting July 1st. And the monthly payout would be $774.14. There's no discussion. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the monthly payout of $774.14 for Sharon Brouillard, commenced on July 1st, 2022.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. And again, we do want to thank Sharon for her many years of service. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Second person in this packet tonight is a name you probably are familiar with, Myra Ambrosi, who was our full-time rec director. Looks like here is 33 and a half years, just a little over that, which is again fantastic for the town. She is now requesting for her pension payout to commence on July 1st, 2022. Monthly payout of her pension of $2,634.87.
I'd like to make a notation that there's a typo on her birthday.
We won't tell her that. Duly noted. Okay.
That's an interesting one too, because that one, yeah, must be the 27th.
All right, entertain a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve the retirement for Myra Ambrosi in the amount of $2,634.87, starting 1 July 22.
motion.
I'll second.
All right, thank you. And again, I want to thank Myra for many years of service as our rec director. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And with that, entertain a motion to adjourn the pension meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we are now adjourned at 6:48. Okay, then the time is now 7 p.m. on June 1st. I'd like to call this special Board of Selectmen meeting to order and ask that you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And roll call.
Art Gagnon.
Kevin Cunningham. And Scott is not here this evening. Minutes of the Board of Selectmen from 5/23/22.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for 5/23/22.
And I will second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Public comment? Okay, thank you. Old business, there is none. Under new business, there are 4 items. First item is consider an act on tax refunds as requested by the tax collector totaling $454.44. Toyota Lease Trust for $310.10. A-Car Leasing Ltd. for $144.34.
Make a motion to approve the tax refunds in a total of $454.44.
I'll second. Any discussion? Here none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 2. It's a little lengthy one, but consider an act on approval of modifications to the town ordinances do not require a town meeting. And I think you put together a list.
Yeah, it's here anyway.
Okay. And just for definition for the public, the The reason why these are things that can be done without a town meeting is because there are things that have typo or just a misplaced word here or there. So that's really something we can do without having to go to a town meeting. There's no substance. Perhaps, okay. What do you have?
Okay, so ordinance 17, I don't know if you have this list with you.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know if this is one.
Yeah, that's not one we should actually make motion on tonight.
Yeah, because we have to look into that.
Yep.
A little deeper, I think. Okay, so the next one will be 28. I put 2 periods at the end.
That's a typo one, yeah.
1 period has.
We can do the other research question on the other one later, but yeah, the typo one is easy.
Scratch that one. So 28, 29, we've got on your list. They should say ordinance 117 in the references.
Yes.
118.
Yep.
So you can do that one. 34, it should say ordinance 129.
Yep.
It says 130.
Yep.
60. I had 60. It has no reference that it repeals ordinance number 56.
Yeah, that's not a typo, so we have to.
Okay. Next one will be 67.
That's again another one we can't.
Yeah.
Well, 67 is
67.
to fix
It
the.
should say repealed by ordinance 120, not 121.
Yep.
That was just my proof on writing.
Okay.
So that one's good. We just did 60. It's not. 74. I think we need to talk about that one too.
Yep.
How to include that, number 23 too.
Right.
That's the ones that were repealed by the charters. I think we can do that one. 77 would be next. Let's just say 132, not 133. Not
77.
Yeah. That was one overall.
All right, I got something different on 77.
Yes, there's another one too. Ordinance 68 should say ordinance
69.
67. I mean 69.
69, yep.
Yeah, there's 2 on that one actually.
Okay.
87 would be the next one. That's a question asking if the references should be changed. So that we have to discuss too.
Yep, so we can do that one.
106.
124, not 125. Yep.
So then we can do
Yep.
107.
There's just the type. That's the way of the alignment of that typo, right?
Yeah, it's not lined up with it yet. Text is not indented probably. Yeah, it's just two
Those are
sections there.
those are okay.
They're typos.
Yep.
Okay, so 107 is good. 115.
That has
That's
to
the
be.
dollar amount. Should be 100,000 now. 1,000.
Yes.
That's easy. 116. In your list too. Needs to have amended by ordinance 123. That was not put.
116.
116 is on your list. Halfway down.
Oh, there we go, down there. Yep.
Can we do that one?
No.
We'll wait on that.
Have to wait on that.
119 is on your list. also.
Typo, de minimis. Yep.
That one we can
Yeah, we
do.
can do that. Yep.
Yeah, and 126. Good guy now.
Yep.
Yeah, 126, they had a, for all the sections, they had this weird symbol that I didn't have on.
Like
my
it's a
program.
state symbol, like a
Yeah,
double.
that,
Yeah.
State statute symbol.
Yes.
So I didn't have that. So I don't know if that's,
We'll have to wait on that too.
let's just get it changed like that. Let's wait on that. And then 91 you have, it should include ordinance 40, I think we gotta wait on that too. Discuss that. So. You agree?
Yep, I agree.
Those are just typos. So we have ordinance 28.
You You want to make the motion out of it then? Maybe you're going to
Do it now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion to change the typos on ordinance 28, 29, 34, 67, 77, there's 2 typos. Ordinance 106, 107, 115, and 119.
So your motion is to,
As stated on this.
okay.
The changes.
So I guess make sure I get the numbers right. 28, 29, 34, 67, 77, 106, 107, 115, 119.
That's right.
So you've made a motion to act and approve the modifications for those. I will second that. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, item number 3 in new business talks about the discussion and act on 2 new town IT policies. This came forward from our cyber attack, and these are policies that are recommended by the state of Connecticut. So what I did was I looked and found some other municipalities that did have similar ones, and I made some modifications to it to specifically talk about the town of Plainfield privacy and acceptance of use policy. I put 3 policies in there, by the way. The 3rd policy is something we currently have. It's talking about the acceptable use policy for computers and electronic devices, but this is an incident response. So when we have an incident that occurs, there's a process we follow, and that's why the first policy is listed as such. The second one is basically when you have your website, you should also be able to put something on the website so that you have the terms and conditions of use. The terms and conditions of use was also, I went through Revise, the company which hosts our site, and I verified this with their management, and I gave them a copy of this site terms, and they were fine with putting it up there. I just wanted to make sure that we had voted on it and approved to go forward. So we tell people that while you use our sites, you also have to be respectful in what you do on our sites. And if we find that you're not doing something appropriately, we can actually ban you from going onto the site, which is a boilerplate for a lot of different places. You don't really notice it until you go down to the bottom of their website and see it. So any discussion or?
Just one question on the incident response policy.
Yep.
And again, policy violations. Can you give me an example of volunteers?
In case the town of Plainfield had volunteers who were working maybe in the rec center, and they were not using the process, the system properly, we would ask them also to not use it.
I had a question about the one we did last year.
Okay.
Because I know we're changing software, and it says Microsoft Office Suite of products.
That's our Office 365. We use that.
Say that?
Yep.
Okay. So it's not changing. And the other thing I wanted to ask about was this one. The electronic data backup policy that we did last year.
Yeah.
Is that going to have to change?
I'll have to take a look at it for the next meeting then.
Okay. So I was pulling out policies and I came across that one. Okay.
And then what was that? Just go back to that one. What was that?
Electronic data backup.
Okay.
Did it last, I think, February 21, somewhere around there.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we adopt these 2 new policies, which are the incident response policy and the website terms and conditions of.
Okay. Motion has been made. I will second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, now the final one up is our line item transfers. I gave you an updated copy. There were some changes made today as requested by our recreation director. Got something that came down from retirement payouts. And if I'm making any wrong assumptions, you just let me know. All right, so we had some money left over electricity. Is this the town hall one? Electricity, and so we wanted to put it towards the heat. Don't forget, and there's notes on the far right that helps to give you an idea of what happened and why. So that we decreased the budget in 2022 and then increased it again, but it still needs to be adjusted. So that's why the $3,500. We're hoping as we go through with electricity that the auditorium, the town hall, and also eventually the pool will have a reduction in the costs in that because we're going through this new system. So we're hoping, we'll see.
Depends how electricity goes.
I know that something's out of our control, but anyways, that's what that one is. We are looking to transfer from vehicle expense to supplies for the fire marshal. And again, you'll note a lot of these things are staying within the department. So it's from his own vehicle expense over to his own supplies. And that's partial need because there was an EMS piece of equipment that failed, so he needed to replace it. That's why that dollar value is there. The building inspector has been doing a lot of early morning requests over to Amazon. So that unfortunately constitutes the fact that he's going there for a little more time than what he should be, so that's why there's overtime in there. So we anticipated being able to take it from the election workers, $6,000 to offset the building inspector salary for that overtime for mostly for the Amazon inspections. The next one up is we have a lot of things going on with, before Kyle went away, we had a building assistant salary that we had needed an adjustment because he was working extra hours because of the cyber attack. So again, we took some money out of election workers for that. Vehicle expenses, there we took it out of relocation for vehicle expense, and that was the cost of gasoline, which has been rising. I will say that for any of the departments who are questioning, that includes the school, by the way, questioning the issue of they finally get a bill for their fuel use over at the highway garage. It was very difficult to track it because you didn't have numbers to do it with. There's no constant weekly report. So we tried to do the best we could with divvying it up properly and what we saw for the history, and then divvied it up at that point. So there might be some questions later on as how that happened, but that's the answer really.
It was an average of 3 years. We took 3 years and averaged out, not on a cold year, because there was a bunch, the years prior, 18, 19, 20.
All right, the next one we took from heart and hypertension. We had numerous projects for engineering, and we took another section from health insurance. Just to answer what that is, we have, I won't say bit off more than we can chew, but there's a lot of things going on. You have the Dow Road Bridge project, you've got the sidewalks over in Oregon, you've got the sidewalks over here at the, going over to Big Y, Lathrop Road. I've had a request, I put a request in with our engineer to do the curb cut, not realizing that the state of Connecticut DOT requires you to have an engineer's plan to actually show the engineering plan of how you're going to take the curb cut out. So those are some of the projects we've been working on. We're trying to minimize the costs for the rest of this 5-week period to the end of the fiscal year. I'm going to explain to them they have to go into a freeze. I'm not going to do any more things until then because we are at this point expended to too much. We can pick it up with our newly hired engineer when that happens, so that way we'll add some savings at that point. Don't forget, we also have other things that go on. The engineer is used for when you have sightline issues. You have to use them to go out there and verify sightline issues for driveways. And there are other things that they do for planning and zoning. They do some work for wetlands, and they have to verify the plans that are being put in are correct. So those things have to happen, but the rest of it I'm going to pull back on. So that's why. Oh, they did. Well, but that's a company that actually took that over. So we had bid it out. So they're the ones that did the light engineering.
Can I ask a question? Engineering, what do we budget for?
What's the initial budget?
That we're in.
Was that 130 maybe?
We budgeted originally 75,000.
That's right. Yeah, that was
75.
legal. It was 130. Yeah. For this coming year, we have 75 for that position. So that should balance out. And we're, that line item is there, and that's installing the new heating system for the pool, and also heat and hot water for the pool shower areas. So that is, we anticipate the bid opening tomorrow, and we're hoping that it comes in for that number. We took the money out of workman's comp for that. The rest of them are recreation. Now the rest, and then after that there's some more, but recreation has a multitude of things that they're doing, so they wanted to make sure that they came out of their own area, so they took it out of supplies, and they divvied up for rec utilities, vehicle expenses, and pool operation. And the big one is we're anticipating the current bill to be about $356,000. We're waiting for any final bills to come in, but we anticipate that that should cover it. Most of the money came out of the fact that we didn't do the Quinnebog Valley Trail. The rest of it has lap insurance, election workers, assessor appraisals, health, social security tax, and we did a lot of work for the police computer to buy those now to get them ready to go through the cyber attack. So with that savings, we anticipated that's why the police computer line is utilized for that. You'll see that the town building repairs is the usual. Everybody is working to fix the things that are breaking on a regular basis, so that's why there's an additional need for $15,000 coming from workers' comp and retirement payouts. We still have to pay the computer line for the subcontractor for this month coming up, so we have copy machine savings there to cover that. Police department put together their list of changes for covering from the money that they're saving from some of the salaries, and they have used for need for training and overtime. Again, you have 2 officers who are leaving basically immediately, and they're utilizing their monies they have left over for sick time and vacation time payouts, but that means you're 2 officers less between now and the end of the month. So that's why their overtime is anticipated for that. Dispatcher salaries, and this is a plea to anybody in the town that knows anybody who's looking for a job. They desperately need dispatchers. They talked about it at the last meeting. They have 4 part-time dispatchers. They're looking for part-time. 3 of them gave their notice because they're going somewhere else. So that's why dispatcher salaries are modified. They're taking it from the holiday pay for the police to cover that. And they have uniforms, supplies, sick pay, and utilities going over to vehicle expense. These new vehicles that are getting in, they have to fit those properly, and that's why the need for that. Hoping that explains. If you have any other questions.
I have one question about cybersecurity.
Yep.
Is that a new line item?
Yeah.
We try to allocate it separate just so you can see all the expenditures that hit it.
So as far as the computer line item,
Which one are you talking about? Just below that? Two lines, a few lines down.
yes, that's the one.
Is copy machine computer, or are you talking about some other?
It's not cybersecurity. The computer line items are
General.
what was normally in the budget, which we would pay our subcontractor protocol networks out of it.
Yeah.
So we need to cover for the last few months of their.
Oh, and that's it?
Yeah,
That brings
yeah,
that up.
yeah, that should be fine.
Because I haven't had the weekly budget statement.
Yeah, I
a
just
couple
read,
months, so-
yeah. Just-
I was watching that one. That was.
Yeah,
so-
you should have them this week. Yeah. I did a rough run last Thursday, Friday, so we are still allocating our accounts receivable accounts, making sure they're good, and then we'll be able to see. But I think by next week, we'll have them.
I mean, the scheme of it, you really don't want to be able to come to meetings and say, I want to do line item transfers. They're really there because normally you have overruns based on issues that occur. So this one, the grand total, by the way, is $506,868. You can obviously see the majority of that comes from cybersecurity, $356,000. There's another $31,000 I would just point out that another $31,000 is we had allocated for the pool heating system you put in. So we're really talking about $120,000 of different things that are going on. So that's not too bad. But that's, again, we would have been able to do this once before had we not had a cybersecurity issue. So That's the anticipation at this point, to bring this forward to the Board of Finance.
Question about the Twin Bog Trail, that's not going to happen right now anyway, right?
Right.
This trout hatchery?
It was applied for again. They said that they received it, but we still can't get past the trout hatchery.
They don't want to pay.
They don't want to use any touching of any of their land, period. Now, that was an issue that Joe Courtney said he would look into, but I haven't heard a word back yet. It's been 2 months. So we pulled it, that's why we pulled it initially. And we don't think, in this case, this next go-around that they applied for again, it would be no cost to the town. So they just said, well, if Joe can work it out with a deep, that wouldn't be bad. But the problem is, they're not going to be able to work it out with deep. My opinion is, deep is going to hold fast. They're not going to allow anybody to touch.
The other thing you brought to my mind was when you mentioned the heating for the pool. The HVAC for out here,
Mm-hmm.
because the company came back with a higher price after. Was this resolved? Or
Yes.
it has been
Resolve that
resolved?
issue. They're actually coming out.
Right, we only have a month left in the year, so.
Oh, as long as they are starting the project during this fiscal year, similar to that of the pool, then we can start the billing process in this fiscal year, so we have the monies available for it. They actually will be coming out, let's see, they were out last Friday doing an actual measurement of where they're going to be placing all of the duct or HVAC work, and so they've got an idea. Now they're going to be coming out to actually start the work next week, which, if it works out properly, that boiler can be disassembled and taken out, and heat can be replaced for the pool all in 1 week. And we think they might be doing it simultaneously. So that way you don't have any heat out here, but they'll be doing work on it very quickly. In the meantime, you see that the windows have the ACs in them right now. So as they go in, they'll be taken back out. So, all right. So if you're okay with this, you'd have to entertain a motion to approve line item transfers to go to the Board of Finance in the amount of $506,868.
I'll make a motion to approve the line item transfers in the amount of $6,868 to be moved to the Board of Finance.
I will second that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. We do not have any other tonight, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And I will second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 7:25.